Hi, welcome to this mini stretch class. If you haven't already, roll out your mat. You might want a little block or a hardback book for a little bit later on. We are going to start in child's pose. So coming towards the back of your mat, I'm going to have my knees wide. You're welcome to have your knees together. I've got my big toes together. I'm sitting back on my heels and then really slowly start to pad my hands forward. So I've got my arms outstretched. You're welcome to bring a cushion underneath you here if you want a little bit more support. Otherwise, you can gently bring your forehead down towards the mat and take a few breaths. We'll begin our practice in this pose, just stretching out the back, stretching out through the shoulders. And if you want to, you're welcome to come now onto your fingertips and take a bit more of an active stretch here. Again, just focusing in on the breath though, and calming down the body a little bit. So we'll take just 2 more breaths here. And 1 more breath. Ground into those hands, slowly draw yourself up into a 4-point kneeling. So if you're in your wide child's pose, you're going to have to bring those knees underneath your hips just a little bit more. Ground into those hands. And from here, we're going to inhale as we drop our belly, lift our chest, lift our tailbones into our cow pose. Exhale, rounding through that spine, the navel draws in, the chest sucks in, and your chin is coming to your chest. Inhale up into your cow, dropping your belly, lifting your chest, lifting your tailbone. Exhale, rounding through into your cat pose. Let's take 1 more of those. Inhale up into your cow. And round as you exhale into your cat. And then come and find a stillness in your 4-point kneeling. Ground into that left hand. Let the right arm rise up. And then slowly thread that right arm behind the left wrist. We're coming into threaded needle. So I'm going to draw my right arm through, bringing my right ear down towards the mat. Perhaps for some of you, you might want to bring it onto that block or onto a cushion for a little bit more support here. And find your threaded needle pose today. Your left hand that's acting just as a kickstand by the side of your face can either creep forward onto your fingertips, or it can come off totally and come and rest on your lower back, or even the crease of your right thigh. Lots of options in threaded needle. Take 1 more breath here. Bring the left hand back by your face if it went for a wander. Press through that left hand. Draw your right arm back up into your 4-point kneeling position. Let's take all of that on the other side. So grounding into the right hand this time. Left arm reaches up. Left arm threads behind your right wrist. And you come all the way down into threaded needle on this side. Remember, you can have something there for your head. You can bring your left ear all the way down. And then that right arm can either wander forward, stay exactly where it is, come and rest on your lower back or the crease of your left thigh. Your choice. See what works best for you today. Let's take 1 more breath here. And then if that right hand went for a wander, bring it back by your face as you press through. Come on back through that 4-point kneeling. And I'm going to pad my hands forward now, coming into a puppy pose. So my hips are going to stay more or less over my knees as I start to sink my chest down. And perhaps you bring a cushion underneath your chest, or perhaps your forehead comes a little bit lower, even onto the mat for some people. Pause here, stretching out through your puppy pose. It should be a really lovely stretch through the shoulder blades. Really slowly walk those hands back underneath your shoulders. And when we find our 4-point kneeling, can you tuck your toes and then sit back on your heels? Now this is toe sit. It might not work for everybody. So if you feel it's too intense, either try rising yourself up or just untuck your toes altogether. But from our toe sit, we're going to take some simple shoulder rolls, just forwards and back. So I'm going to take about 4 going backwards before I reverse the direction and take 4 going forwards. And then interlace those fingers behind your back. Can you draw the hands down and then maybe away from your body a little bit and open up through the chest here? Some people may naturally find that they start to look up a little bit, but you're fine to keep your gaze forward as well. Lovely, release those hands. Come on forward into your 4-point kneeling, tap out those toes. And from this 4-point kneeling, I'm going to tuck those toes again and find downward facing dog. So I'm coming into my triangle type pose, but maybe keeping my knees bent and pedaling out in my downward facing dog. But you're welcome to find a stillness if that feels better for you. Ground into those hands, pushing the floor away. Give your head and neck a little shake, yes and no. Feel free to pedal. Feel free to find stillness. Take a breath here in your downward facing dog. Wonderful. Can you now walk your hands back towards your feet? And as we keep our feet exactly where they are, we're walking to the back of the mat. We find ourselves in a deep forward fold. You can take as much of a bend in that knee as you feel that you want to here. Pause for me here in your deep forward fold. If you fancy doing a little pedal, you could pedal out those legs. And for those of you that aren't getting your hands to the mat, you could always grab that little block and use it there as a little prop for you to pop your hands on. Really nice. Walk your hands back out into that downward facing dog. We're going to bring our right foot between our hands. So 2 options for this. The right leg can lift and come between the hands, or we drop our knees to the mat, we take hold of our right ankle and we step it forward. Either way is absolutely fine. Just find yourself with your right foot forward and your left foot back. And this is where you'll want your block or your little hardback book. So I'm going to have it there, just a little prop. And I am going to wiggle my right foot forward just that little bit more. And then take a little flow in between half monkey, where I'm sitting back, and a low lunge. Now how low and far you go in these is completely up to you. And how fast or slow you take this movement, again, is very much up to you. So this is the speed that I'm going at today. So I'm aiming to take about 4 or 5 of these as I start to stretch out through the legs. And then as I come now into my next half monkey, so here I'm going to pause, toes pointed upwards. I'm still using my block. You are welcome, obviously, to get rid of the block and fold down a little bit more over that front leg. It will intensify the stretch a little bit more. Lovely. Walk yourself forward. Find that low lunge again. Pausing here. And then wiggle that right foot to the edge of the mat. I'm just going to move my block out of the way. Bring your right hand inside and you are in a lizard pose. Pausing here in your lizard pose. If anybody wants to bend their elbows and come a little lower, they're more than welcome to. Coming all the way down is possible, but you may feel that it's exactly enough here with your hands on the mat. Ground into that left hand. Let the right arm reach up and take a twist here in your lizard. And then bring that right hand down. I'm going to wiggle that right foot back into the midline of the mat. Ground both my hands, tuck my back toe, lift my back knee and step back into downward facing dog. So I'm back in my downward facing dog and we'll take all of that on the other side. So either your left leg lifts and comes between your hands, or you drop your knees to the mat, take hold of that left ankle and step it forward. Either way, you find yourself in this low lunge position. And I'm grabbing that little prop again. And I'm going to move between my half monkey. I need to wiggle my left foot forward a little bit. My half monkey and my low lunge. So for me, I'm doing about 4 or 5 at this speed. You might do a few more or a few less. Just really starting to work through the legs, starting to stretch out, maybe moving a little bit more deeper each time that I come through each of the poses. And next time I come into half monkey, just taking a little pause. Toes pointed more upwards. And anybody who wants to is welcome to fold down a little bit more over their front leg to intensify that stretch. Lovely. Walk yourself forward, find that low lunge. Get rid of the block if it's in your way. And again, just pausing here, taking a moment to feel the opening there through the hips and the thighs. And then heel toe that left foot to the edge of the mat, bringing the left hand inside and you're in your lizard pose. So here we are in lizard. Anybody who wants to is more than welcome to bend at the elbows, even bringing the whole forearms down towards the mat. But it's not needed. If you feel that this is intense enough for you today, then you stay exactly where you are. Everybody ground into that right hand now. Let the left arm rise up. You're in a twisted lizard. Really nice. Bring that left hand down. Heel toe the left foot into the middle of the mat. And we are going to step back one more time into downward facing dog. So tuck the back toe, lift the back knee all the way back into your downward facing dog. Knees come now down to the mat. Hips come to one side. Swing your legs all the way round. And we're rolling down onto our mats or rolling onto our sides and coming down that way. But we'll find ourselves with bent legs on the mat, feet about hip distance apart. And from here, just take a little rock through the pelvis. And then see if you can turn that little rock into maybe the lower back rolls up and down as well. Can the middle back become involved here now? And then even rolling all the way up and down, including the upper back. So I'm taking bridge rolls up and down, and you can stay rolling up and down. If this feels really good for you, then you take this option. For those of you that want to, you can come up into your bridge and pause here in bridge pose. A block could be placed right here underneath your sacrum. That's quite a nice restorative version. You can interlace your fingers and bring them underneath you and press that fist into the mat to raise your hips up a little bit more if that's the variation you want to take. Your glutes are switched on and your feet are pressed into the mat. Whichever variation you're taking, the bridge roll, the supported bridge with the block underneath you, or this variation here, just take another breath. Before you release those hands and let your spine roll all the way down to the mat. We've got one last little pose here to do. It's my favorite. Stretch out your left leg, bring your right knee in towards your chest. And then really slowly guide that right knee over to your left side, rolling onto your left hip, reaching back out if you want to with your right hand, maybe even gazing over those right fingertips. Here you are in your spinal twist. Feel free to close down the eyes. Take one more breath here. And then slowly roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a squeeze in a ball. And then keep that left knee hugged in, let the right leg go long. This time we're going to guide that left knee over towards the right side, rolling onto that right hip, adjusting the hip if you need to underneath you. As maybe you reach back out with the left arm and you gaze over towards those left fingertips. But you don't need to add on that. Again, take one last breath here. And then slowly roll back onto your back again. Feel free to take a few moments here if you've got a bit of extra time. Otherwise, bring the knees in towards the chest. And then either rock and roll through the spine or roll onto your side and come and join me back up in a seated position. I hope you've enjoyed that mini little stretch class, and I hope to see you again on the mat soon. Namaste.